Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of... Oh my god. What have I done? What have I done? Today, we are going to be discussing a very interesting topic. Are we gonna make this, should we make this an ASMR video? I'm back at it.
Oh, hell no.
Back at it.
I'm unzipping my shit. I'm unzipping my shit right now. Here's the question. When was the last time you saw an interesting male character in a movie? Well, that's my point. They're starting to exist.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to Mark.
Now get the fuck off my expo set now! Get the fuck off! Thank you!
For the last 10 years, Hollywood has had essentially no idea how to write male characters. It's like they're a hive mind, all the writers in Hollywood. They're like this big jelly goo combined into one collective brain. And that collective brain had not been programmed with the ability to write an interesting male character. Now, Hollywood is generally not where I would go to get my sagely wisdom, you know, if I'm looking for some deep inspiration. Hollywood is generally not my first choice of where to look.
Like you don't know what it is. Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy.
However, in the past 3 or 4 years, I think there has been a positive change. And essentially when I was younger, thinking, you know, maybe around the ages of 10 to 15, masculinity or the idea of manhood seemed to be maybe slightly more straightforward. It was just like, be tough, look after your family. Do cool things. But the more our culture has like tried to suppress any image of masculinity, the more toxic Instagram and all the social media apps have become in their view of masculinity. It's like Instagram's taken over. Instagram is a new image of manhood, and it's not a good image. We've got to stop letting Instagram be our depiction of manhood, because it's not going well. Every single like Sigma grind set meme I'm seeing is just like someone driving their Maserati into a pole at 200 kilometers an hour. It's like, you want to be a man? Yeah. You want to be a man? Here, watch this video. Self-destruction. That's it. Hollywood is finally beginning to understand that you can't just continue to tell the same woman stunning brave story and man bumbling idiot. Everybody's beginning to get a bit sick of it, and I mean everybody. I don't think this is a political issue anymore. The stories are just becoming really boring. It reminds me of that scene from 1984 where there's like that dictator on the big screen. Except instead of a dictator, it's just Disney. And they're like, here is another new girl boss. They push like a girl with dyed red hair out onto the stage. She's like, I don't need the help of men. I can do it on my own. Everybody's like... For a while, every single male character was just like this bumbling idiot. Just like, help! I don't know who I am! Mommy! Mommy! So yeah, I'm glad that era is on the way out. I'm glad we're beginning to see a little bit more of a balanced depiction of masculinity. One of my favorite ones that used to be a big thing, especially in the Marvel TV shows. It's like you would see this little 5'5" woman and a massive 6'5" jacked guy would be like, you're detained. You're going to the FBI headquarters now. And she'd be like, not if I can help it. Do like a triple double backflip, take his head off, chokehold. I'm taking you downtown. Yeah, not the best. But all that to say, I think we're on the other side. We're seeing the light, where we're realizing that women can be badasses, men can be badasses, and they can do it together. Oh, shit! So basically I'm going to go through every year from 2019 till now and talk about some of the more interesting male characters. Yeah. So I mean basically 2019, 2018, 2019, no real masculine character movies came out. Except we were beginning to see little tints of a more interesting masculine story with Ford versus Ferrari. One of the first films where it felt like, ooh, Hollywood's figuring this out, you know what I mean? Hollywood's beginning to get the secret elixir. Showing a male character, a male star who is kind of obsessive about a topic, you know, really deeply engaged in this one single-minded pursuit is like an aspect of masculinity that Hollywood hasn't seemed to have understood for a long time in the past.
Look out there. Out there is the perfect lap. You see it?
They're beginning to get the idea. 2020, Minari comes out. You know that really sad TikTok song? This is the film where that soundtrack comes from. Really good. And another film where they began to figure out that you can tell a story where a man is strong, reliable, determined, and it doesn't mean that the woman in the story isn't going to be either. This is a story about marriage, but it's also really a story about the American dream.
왜? 이런 소리 처음 들어봤어? 데이비사, 너는 스트롱 보이야. 할머니가 본 사람 중에서 제일 스트롱 보이야.
And, you know, really good sign that things were changing for the better. So that's 2020. 2021, we get Dune. Really tapped into the dark, mysterious image of the male character. This guy who's kind of locked away in his house, locked away in his family, with the responsibility of carrying the family lineage. They really did this well in Dune Part 1. Okay, 2022, good year for men in cinema. Top Gun Maverick, a very classic masculine kind of story. Avatar, Way of Water, a family film told in space. Some really positive male imagery here. People generally don't know how to tell those stories well in an interesting way. James Cameron found a way to do it. Very healthy depiction of masculinity.
This family is our fortress.
We've got The Northman. Perhaps not a very healthy depiction of masculinity, perhaps not a very modern depiction of masculinity, but certainly a depiction of masculinity that is absolutely captivating for most men. I mean, this is an insane movie. It's rather violent, and I'm not 100% sure how to feel about it. It is very dark. But that violence and that aggressive and that ruthless nature is something that all men kind of want to embody in one way or another. And if we don't find a way to express that male desire for combat in our stories and in our culture, then it's going to be expressed in a much less healthy way. 2023, we had Godzilla Minus One. It's shown in the opening scene of the movie, so I'm not spoiling anything. And that is that our main character is a failed kamikaze pilot. He had an opportunity to show his bravery and his masculinity, but that opportunity was taken from him, and he feels weak. And men do feel weak. The modern man
I want to see what's on the other broadcast.
I feel
Where's
weak.
the
A lot of
oscillator on
guys
this
feel
thing?
weak.
Godzilla actually acts as an allegory of sorts for his guilt. Even though the war has ended, his war hasn't ended. Not until Godzilla is defeated.
The bear. Man, did they smash this one out of the ballpark.
We're out of peanut butter.
Are you trying to fuck me right now, Chef?
No, Chef.
Do you find me attractive, Chef?
The main actor in this guy, I forget his name, that's just his constant look. Everybody loves him. Every man wants to be him. Every woman wants to be with him. It's because he is a depiction of a man striving after greatness at any cost. And there is something riveting about that. But it's also about him trying to balance out the rest of his life with it, trying to have some kind of connection with his sister, with his cousin, with his family. The last 2 episodes were just mind-boggling. I could barely even comprehend how they were able to pull something like that off. Okay, we're gonna make this finale with Dune Part 2, the grand depiction of masculinity.
Portrayals.
I think Dune Part 2 is a really good example of how if we don't have healthy images of masculinity, we're going to start turning to unhealthy ones instead. Dune Part 2 is about a boy who's in love, and who has a family and who has a healthy lifestyle around him, slowly becoming convinced and converted towards bloodthirsty warlord mentality. And you know what? When you watch it, as a man watching Dune Part 2, I began to get converted to that kind of mentality too, while I was watching the movie. Of course, as soon as I walked out of the cinemas, I went back to being a little bitch. It's the story of us. How many holy wars have there been throughout history? How easily converted is a man to violence? If you can take his journey and imagine that the climax is not him becoming a warlord or starting a genocide, but instead the climax is something more healthy, more attainable in the modern era, it actually can be a real story about the development of strength, the development of core value. But it is a really great example of what's going to start happening to our young men if we don't start giving them more healthy depictions of masculinity to hold on to, right? The same journey that Paul Atreides takes from a boy to a warlord. What do you think is coming in the future? If young men don't have a healthy call to arms, a healthy call to strength, a healthy call to fulfillment, if we're not careful, Dune Part 2 won't just be a very interesting story about manhood, it'll be a prophecy.
Lead them to paradise.